everybody. I'm Charlotte, editor-in-chief of the Laramie Zine. I'm here with Dillon Ruland, who's starting the Tarot Project in Laramie, which would you kindly explain what that is?
So the Tarot Project is a year-long art project brought by the community of Laramie, and we are going to be creating the tarot card deck, which is going to be around 78 original art pieces because we're creating each individual card, with different artists from the community, and we're just having our own artistic interpretations of whatever card we choose.
Nice. Okay, well, before I get too far into that, some people don't know what tarot is.
Okay.
Would you kindly explain?
So tarot is, the tarot cards are a way of like divination or, fortune telling. A lot of people, it's a card deck that you put a lot of energy into, and you will, put out a arrangement of them. And then, throughout which cards you get and also like and how they're facing, it'll tell you, past, present, future with your life, what to expect, what to maybe stay away from. It's essentially it's kind of like looking into your own horoscope, but more of a personalized way to go about it. It's, card reading and oracles and such, they're very old, but this one is a little bit, going to put our own little contemporary twist on it, with our own artistic representations.
So what's your relationship to tarot? Like, why are you inspired to do this kind of project?
Well, I've always, since I was a kid, my mom used to read a lot of tarot. She was kind of esoteric hippie chick, and she would read the tarot cards and would do my readings for me and my brother, and I always had a connection with them since I was a kid, and I just thought they were really, really neat. And then I was given my own deck, and I'd start reading my own, little arrangements, and I was got into them that way. But I always thought I wanted to illustrate my own deck, and I thought that'd be just like the coolest idea because I'm an artsy fartsy kid, and I thought it would be a fun project, and bringing in other people too. You have all those outside influences, and how it represents other individuals, and how it affects them, and what their take on it is.
Mm-hmm. I do like that idea of having a bunch of artists do something so personal that is meant for guidance, because it's like a whole community supporting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm sappy.
No, community is absolutely the reason why I'm doing this too.
Mm-hmm. Well, good job, because I'm excited about it. Clearly, that's why you get an interview. So what do you feel like, you kind of touched on a little bit that it ran in your family, so
Mm-hmm.
you've grown up with it, but what do you feel like tarot can do for people? Like, what are maybe benefits or even negative aspects of it?
Negative aspects I could understand. A lot of people, I don't know, if a person were to get a negative reading, they might, play too hard into it and get really down on themselves and be down in the dumps. Mm-hmm. And, have a very guarded sense about themselves afterwards. But I feel a lot of people use them as, just kind of, well, how should I look at today? Should I be cautious with money, or should I, maybe reach out to a friend I haven't talked to in a while, or, I have a big decision I need to make, and I'm leaning one way, but there's this other way that it helps people come to a decision with, life events, but also just kind of gives a lot of people solace, seeing hey, how's my friend doing? And they'll lay out their cards, and this person's going through these struggles, but they'll come out there, and it's a sense of acceptance, and I know it gives some answers to people that need questions answered. I mean, whether or not you, a lot of people are pretty skeptical about it, and duly so, but a lot of people, it does a lot of real good.
It is a weird concept. Like, honestly, I wouldn't give it any credibility if I hadn't done it on the street in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of like, oh, great, it's this little street reader doing tarot. That's neat. But it was strangely accurate.
Yeah.
And since I've been trying to delve into it, so I'm behind it. But why do you think it works? Like, that's not a
Well, I'm
plain
not saying that it like
question,
really fully works. I mean, it's the energy that you put into it yourself. I mean, the whole like the idea of miracles or whatever. It's more just like it gives you kind of a kick in the pants to put forth your own energy to make these changes in your own life. In order, instead of like just waiting for something to happen, it's more just like gives you a guidance, a focus.
So less like an outside force helping you, but more like your own spiritual self.
I feel a mixture of both.
Nice. Okay, so let's start getting out before I get too carried away.
Okay.
There's different suits, right?
Yes.
Would you list them off for?
So you're familiar with the regular, just like a playing cards deck, right?
Yeah.
So there's four suits in there. There's diamonds, clubs, hearts, and spades. Mm-hmm. The tarot deck, there's similar to that, but there's 5, where the main suits are cups, wands, swords, and pentacles. But then the 5th one is more of like it's not necessarily a suit. It's just major arcana, which are more individualistic cards, where the suits are a run of a theme, where the major arcana are an individualistic card, such as like the Tower, the Hanged Man, Death, the Lovers, Wheel of Fortune,
Are those like really significant or something?
Yeah, like take for instance the Tower. That's if you get the Tower, that's it's one of the few not so good cards to get, which is there's going to be drastic changes in a very quick way sometimes, and it's it's going to hit the fan type of thing.
All right, so don't want that one.
Well, could be abrupt changes, but also it could have a positive outcome.
You're just a positive person, aren't you? I'm jealous.
Glass isn't half full, it's all the way full because there's water and then oxygen. That's a scientific move.
All right, so what is this first? You're doing a show coming up for the project.
Yes,
so what is the first suit you're doing?
So our first show, which is going to be on the 21st of July, which is the solstice, it's going to be the show Cups. And it's landing on the solstice because for that extra coolness factor.
Yeah.
And which is also, Father's Day, so bring your dads to the show if you get a chance to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be above the Pedal House. Doing it, and Jessica are kind enough to lend us the spot, to show our artwork, as well as we're going to have possibly some live music, local DJs, just kind of creating like an ambient, sense of the place, and ambiance. But and we have some other performers, doing other things. Kind of leave that for the show. I mean, it's going to be an event to go to, most definitely.
Okay. And how many artists are participating in Cups? Like, how many cards would there be?
Well, the cards there's going to be. Oh man, I should really know this. I think there's going to be like around 13, but don't quote me on that for sure. But so far involved, we have about 30 artists within the whole project.
Wow.
And we're still looking for a couple more because we have, a few cards left that need some good artists to, put forth a cool image. But yeah, there's people doing multiple cards. There's some people just doing one card for the whole project.
Okay.
And some people are pairing up, and because the main thing I want is a sense of community amongst artists, because you get a lot of that with musicians in this town. There's a big musical social scene, and they all just like talk back and forth and hang out, and they're all friends. But you don't get so much that out of visual artists because they're usually cooped up in their studios.
That's a good point. I mean, it's not really It's not always a social activity.
Yeah,
so.
but with this, I feel it'll be a fun event for everyone to kind of meet and greet and talk shop and make new friends, meet just new driving forces, get inspired, inspire other people.
Really quickly, you mentioned you're still looking for artists. Where could people go to get recruited?
Well, get a hold of me on Facebook, just Dillon Ruland, or else look up the Laramie Tarot Project on Facebook, and do a request to be added to the group, and I'll approve it and get a hold of me that way, and we'll meet up a meet and greet, and get you a card picked out, and get you involved with some cool people and for a fun project.
Excellent. Well, we might be getting to time, so let's conclude it real quickly. What do you want the end result to be? What are you looking most forward to?
I'm looking most forward to just creating a really long art project that culminates with a giant party, which is going to be next summer solstice for the big show Arcana, which will be held at the Griffin, and possibly with a burlesque troupe show.
Okay.
If they're kind enough to indulge me.
You
But yeah, then eventually, once all the images are compiled, I'm hopeful that it'd be neat to get an actual deck published. Through whatever company we could just print them out. But I to eventually get picked up by a publishing company and just get it out there, because it'd be a community made deck of tarot cards.
Yeah. Are you going to be, I said it would be the last one, but are you going to be taking donations at all at any of these shows for creating a physical deck?
Well, I haven't really went into that far, but I know a lot of the artists are going to be creating prints of their own individual pieces that are going to be for sale, and a certain percentage is going to be going to the people that are hosting our showcasings, as well as money's going to be going to the artist, and we're going to be put into a fund to try to get the deck published. But we'll be having more meetings and bouncing ideas off each other. It's still pretty much first show's coming up, but we're still kind of learning through the whole process.
Yeah.
But we'll get it all figured out.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlotte.
A nice professional handshake. And hopefully, I would love to do this again next year and talk about the close of the project.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned, get excited, and check out the show June 21st.
Absolutely.